positive about it. Yes, people, what's happening? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to the first match reaction of the season. First things first, guys, make sure you smash the likes, subscribe if you're new around here, and as always, leave your thoughts in the comments below. And it's finished Chelsea 0, Manchester City 2 on the opening weekend of the season. Not an entirely surprising result. Nothing I don't think we didn't expect. I don't think many Chelsea fans expected to go into this game and get a win. I thought a draw was certainly possible. And, you know, it was fine margins today. We played okay. I'm not saying that we deserved anything out of the game, but it was fine margins. You know, one or two offside calls go in their favour. One goes against us. We make individual mistakes. You know, it's fine margins at the end of the day, but we're always on the wrong end of the fine margins, and we're always the ones that are making the individual errors. You know, I thought we were okay. You know, there were some good things, and there were some not so good things, but we can't be coming to too many conclusions based off one game against the champions, who, quite frankly, didn't really have to get out of second gear. If I'm being totally honest, you know, there are a number of things that looked better, but there are also a number of things that were concerning. It's quite easy to sort of maybe make excuses because we were playing City, and we can just draw a line under it and move on. But if we're being honest, with the games coming up, we've got the Conference League on Thursday, obviously Wolves away, Crystal Palace at home. There's no hiding in these games. There's no hiding in those games. You know, I think it's fair to say that Chelsea are worse right now than they were last season, and I think that's to be expected. We played City 3 times last season. We were a lot better. We competed in all of those games. We didn't compete in this game today. I'll be straight up. The lineup itself, I didn't have too many issues with it when it came out. It's easy to look back now in hindsight and say, oh, you know, we should have played with some wingers, and Nkunku shouldn't have been playing wide. We know he's not a wide man. But when it came out, I didn't really think about that. That was the lineup on the screen there. You know, Gustavo Fofana, Colwell, Cucurella, arguably our best defence that's available. The Lavia Caicedo pivot, kind of Enzo as a 10, and then Palmer and Nkunku playing as inside forwards with Jackson through the middle. I was surprised that Jackson started, given how sparingly he's featured in the preseason. But I couldn't have too many complaints about the team. But I think as the game transpired, it's obviously a mistake to play Nkunku out wide. You know, it doesn't work. He's not a touchline winger. His influence on the game is so much greater when he's in those central areas. So I was surprised that Maresca went with him playing wide. I thought Cole Palmer had quite a quiet game as well today. You know, these guys aren't fit, basically. You know, they're not fully fit. But I don't get the negativity. You know, we know City are the best team, one of, if not the best team in the world. You know, we were mostly able to stick with them. Again, it's a different question of whether how hard they were actually trying. But we've got to see how the next 5 to 6 games go. That will tell us more. We haven't really found out anything about Chelsea today that we didn't already know. Infuriating individual mistakes. Defensively, not good enough. You know, how Erling Haaland was able to shrug off Cucurella and dance through Colwell and Fofana to put the ball over Sanchez in a 3v1 situation is quite incredible. I've got absolutely no idea how that happened at all. You know, a really poor goal to concede. But then you could argue, you know, we had Anthony Taylor, you know, in charge today, which is a joy of joys. Arguably, maybe we should have had one penalty. But Taylor, obviously, he's not going to give us anything. I don't think we moved the ball out to Palmer and Nkunku fast enough. But generally, you know, the play in that first half wasn't too bad, goal aside. We had a goal chalked off for Nicholas Jackson. You know, he needs to learn to stay on side. That was a well-worked move. But I think the major talking points here are Enzo Fernandez. What was his role today? He was playing as a number 10. I think we found out 2 things. Enzo Fernandez is not a number 10, which we already know. And secondly, I don't think, in my opinion, that Enzo, Caicedo and Lavia can all play in the same team. It requires Enzo to play as a number 10, and he simply doesn't have that skill set, guys. He hasn't got the skill set to do it. You know, when he's in and around the edge of the box and you need someone, you know, a good touch, intricate through ball, or whatever. His touch let him down several times today on the edge of the box in dangerous areas. As soon as Lavia went off, Dewsbury Hall came on, I think was a sub, and Enzo dropped deeper. He looked a lot more effective. That's where you want Enzo Fernandez, picking the ball up from deep, spraying passes, starting attacks, dictating the tempo of the game from that deeper position. Now, Pochettino was heavily criticised for playing Enzo as a number 10, and Maresca's done it in his first game, played him as a number 10. I didn't understand that, and I didn't understand the Nkunku playing out wide scenario either. I didn't get it. That didn't make sense to me. Really, it should have been Enzo off when Nkunku went off, and then you bring Neto on, who I actually thought was good and made an impact, stretched the play, gave us some genuine width, and you play Nkunku in the middle. But we didn't do that. And yeah, I'm not saying Enzo's a concern, but we don't need to see him as a number 10 again. We simply don't need to see it. But talking of concerns, how is Robert Sanchez playing football for Chelsea Football Club in 2024? I'm sorry. Like that's it for this guy. That should be the end of Robert Sanchez as number 1. Distribution shocking today. Apparently, Chelsea like him because he's good with the ball at his feet. He's not. Shocking distribution. Okay, there was nothing he could do about the first goal. Fine. Dreadful distribution, as I said. Second goal, shocking. His poor distribution puts us in that scenario. Fofana pass, obviously, and poor pass from Fofana, and Kovacic is in. But Robert Sanchez, Chelsea, seriously, we spent all this money and we don't have a focal point in either box right now. We haven't got a focal point either. We haven't got a focal point from a centre forward perspective, and we've not got a focal point from a goalkeeping perspective. We know how many goalkeepers we've got. 8, 9 goalkeepers at the football club or whatever. We spent so much money on them, and not all of them, but we spent a lot of money on goalkeepers, and yet we still don't have a goalkeeper that's got a presence in the box and that you feel confident is going to win you, is going to keep you in games and win you points. Sanchez is not it. I'm staggered that he is still playing for Chelsea Football Club. I mean, the only reason he's still playing is because no one else wants him. That's kind of where we're at with that one. No one else wants Robert Sanchez. Because if they did, he would have been sold. He absolutely would have been sold this summer. Simple as that. But I'm just confused as to how Robert Sanchez is the first choice keeper at Chelsea, and nothing today, showed me otherwise to suggest that I'm wrong on anything about that. I can't have sympathy for any manager, guys, that is picking Robert Sanchez in 2024. How many times do we need to see Robert Sanchez be shit to realise he is absolutely shit? He's terrible. He's a complete and utter calamity, a liability. Get him out. Get him out. It's not hard. It's not difficult, guys. Get Robert Sanchez out of this football club. I've had enough. I've seen enough. We need to move forward. This guy is going to cost us too many points. Too many points. It's just shocking, absolutely shocking. But in terms of perhaps other positives, I thought off the ball there were some big positives to take. We seemed more composed. On the ball, we weren't threatening enough. But Maresca did show kind of some versatility to a degree. The fullback wasn't always inverting. Sometimes Gusto was high and wide. So there was some good tactical flexibility on display. Romeo Lavia was the big positive, the big plus. I thought it was brilliant today, absolutely brilliant. Only one that's looking, showing desire to win the ball back. I was really, really impressed with him. Really impressed with him. And for me, he was definitely Chelsea's best player, hands down. But I don't think we can read too much. I don't think we can read too much into this game in terms of for Chelsea. All things considered, we played okay. Some positive signs there, lacking, the final touches. But we knew that. But yeah, I mean, it's just tricky, isn't it? It's just tricky because how many times have we said, "Oh, we need to defend better"? Um, we need to defend better, and we need to take our chances. The fact that we spent all this money and we still don't have a striker is crazy. No presence in either box, as I was saying. That's got to change. That's got to change. There were some signs in the first half. There were some signs. We created some good chances today. There was some good build-up play, but and this is going to take time and it's going to take patience. And people don't like to hear that. People don't like to hear that. But the season was never going to be judged on Man City at home. I'm not saying it's a free hit or anything, but the real proof will be in the pudding over the next 5 or 6 games when we play the Bournemouths, when we play the Wolves, when we play the Crystal Palaces. That's when we'll start to find out a little bit more about this team. But I think right now it's difficult to draw too many conclusions from what we've seen today, other than the obvious. Enzo Fernandez can't be playing as a 10. We don't want to see Nkunku wide. Neto was a plus as well. Lavia was great. And it's kind of as you were at Chelsea. It's going to be interesting. There's going to be a lot of changes on Thursday. It'll be probably a almost totally different team that will play against Servette before we go to Wolves next weekend. I can't be too despondent with what I've seen today because I wasn't really expecting anything different. But we have to see an improvement over the next few games. Simple as that. There must be an improvement over the next few games. And it's going to be interesting to see where this season takes us. Right now, we're obviously worse than we were last season. That's to be expected. It's about Maresca, more time on the training pitch, the players getting more used to the ideas. I don't think he knows what his best 11 is. I don't think Chelsea fans know what our best 11 is. That in itself is an issue. We've got a load of options, and now it's about fitting them in the best way. But I don't want to see Chelsea line up again with no natural wingers on the pitch from the off. For me, it's not working. Enzo, Caicedo, Lavia, I don't think you can play all three of them. Certainly not week in, week out, because Enzo at the 10 doesn't work. And I want to see Philip Jorgensen come into goal as quickly as possible. So, yeah, guys, that's kind of just my thoughts on the games, few ramblings and whatnot. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Smash the likes, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I'll catch you again in another one soon. Up the Chelsea and peace out.